What you see behind me is a fuel queue, something that's very commonplace here in Colombo right now. It is people waiting for fuel, most often fuel that never comes. It is depressing. Sri Lanka is in dire straits at the moment, but we at Kaleidoscope want to put a smile on your face. So every week we try to look positive, we try to think positive, and we try to be positive. So welcome to Kaleidoscope with me, Savithri Rodrigo, and we have something positive for you. This week was World Chocolate Day, and what better way to celebrate than going into a chocolatier's den? So, chocolate itself has a 4,000-year history. It was used by the ancient Mayans as currency because it was considered much more valuable than gold dust. It was used by the monks in religious rituals. It's an aphrodisiac. It is used as medicine and even to prepare for war. And oh, it is so addictive. So with me is Gerard Mendes. Thank you, Gerard, for having us in this amazing chocolate shop of yours.
Pleasure to be here.
Tell me, why is chocolate so addictive?
If you look at today's the fastest growing popular in terms of popularity, addictiveness and taste is chocolate. So in terms of demand and addictiveness, and also there is a certain sense of goodness in chocolate as well.
What is the goodness?
It's an anti-oxidant when it comes to building your immune systems or preventing diseases or little viruses, and at the same time it also adds to a better blood flow and oxygen system in a human. You know?
Do you ever get tired of the smell or looking at chocolate?
No, I love eating chocolate still, and funnily I do taste whenever we do something different, because what you see here is all 100% handmade. We don't use any machinery, because by making it handmade you can determine the exact aroma, the texture, but differs in taste from the varieties that we do.
Coming up next, we chat with an HIV Hero Award winner, a woman who's inspiring and empowering other women, another woman who's also on the same mission through song. So if you do enjoy Kaleidoscope, don't forget, subscribe and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and LinkedIn.
Did you know you can open a digital fixed deposit with just 5,000 rupees? Open a CDB iDeposit digital fixed deposit today. CDB, your friend.
And now for a quick look at our week on CDB Snapshot. Private sector credit expands by just 2 billion rupees in May. Sri Lanka's inflation hit a record high of 54.6% in June, exceeding 50% for the first time in history. Government domestic borrowings crossed 1.6 trillion rupees in the first 4 months of 2022, increasing 1 trillion year on year. Veritas Mood of the Nation poll for June 2022 shows a further sinking of sentiments, with a negative score of 96 for economic confidence. Tom Turkish and his dog became the 10th person and first dog to walk around the world, spending 7 years on the journey. Asia's largest train station, holding 32 platforms across 400,000 square meters and Beijing's oldest, built in 1895, reopens after a 21st century renovation. The world's biggest water lily, at nearly 10 feet wide and belonging to an entirely new species, has been discovered at London's Royal Botanic Gardens.
We are here to better your lives and champion your every goal. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees, our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
Welcome, you're watching Srilanka Life News Capsule. Women are the backbone of Sri Lanka's most profitable industries, but yet account for only 34% of the labour force, contributing about 29% to the national economy, one of the lowest rates in the region. The key to boosting economic growth is to unlock the potential of the female labour force, and this is where Chrysalis comes in. From 2016, Chrysalis has been working with 100,000 women and youth, supporting 700,000 in rural, urban and plantation communities. On Kaleidoscope is the CEO of Chrysalis, Ashika Gunasena, on what she has found in her years of working with women and youth. In 6 years that Chrysalis has been around, what is the biggest holdback you see culturally when it comes to women and youth actually maximizing their potential?
One of the biggest obstructions that we see is the societal expectations of women and also of young people. We are from a very young age told this is what we should do and should not do. And it's been reinforced in our homes, in our schools, in institutions and in society in general. And women and young people also begin to believe that this is what is expected and this is the only thing that we can do. And shifting such norms has been the biggest challenge we see. You can change a lot of things, you can give knowledge, you can try to train, you can build capacities, but that mental attitude that people have about who you are and who you can be, I feel is holding back, particularly women, in fulfilling their potential. One of the biggest transformation that we have seen is women taking on leadership roles, really claiming their space. Example, women in the north are saying to us, do not define solutions for our problems. Let it be us that define those solutions. And they're taking it to the local authorities, they're taking it to even higher levels of decision making and saying, please make us part of these decisions. Do not define solutions that don't work for us. Other one is also women in the SME sector who are really are beginning to understand their potential to transform the sector, but also then improve the local economy.
At the Colombo stock market this week, the old share price index continued its downward trend, falling 5.2%, while the average daily turnover remained a mediocre 1.08 billion rupees. Amid recession fears and a US dollar that's on a 20-year high, as well as China reporting new COVID-19 cases across the country, WTI oil dropped below 99 US dollars. An expected 50 to 75 point base hike by the US Federal Reserve and a strong US dollar saw gold prices tumble to 1,745 US dollars per ounce. In a wedding like no other, the mayor of a town in Mexico married his alligator bride as part of an age-old ritual to secure abundance. As trumpets blared and traditional music rang out, the newlyweds' nuptials were sealed with a kiss. The largest ever exhibition of African fashion spanning the iconic mid-20th century to contemporary creatives is currently on at London's Victoria and Albert Museum. Our speed reading gifts with Sanjeev are on offer. You can learn to speed your reading up from wherever you are in the world. Just let us know and you could be gifted one whole program absolutely free. HIV has claimed more than 36.3 million lives globally. Sri Lanka has a relatively low-level HIV epidemic though, with a prevalence estimated below 0.1%, which is lower than most countries in Asia. The National STD AIDS Control Program estimates a total of 3,700 people living with HIV in Sri Lanka in recent years. While there is currently no treatment for HIV, recent times have seen the development of effective drugs that enable most afflicted with the virus to live a long and healthy life. With us today is the HIV Hero Award winner, founder of the Prajna Collective and the Program Officer of AFAO under the Sustainability of HIV Services for Key Populations in Asia program, Sriyal Nilanka. And Sriyal was diagnosed with HIV when he was 25, 9 years ago. When you found out you had HIV, how did it all unfold to you, your family, your friends?
This was back in 2013. I got tested privately as a routine checkup. I was asked to come back and submit a second blood sample. When I asked them why, they sent me to the lab technician, and the technician sort of said, oh, it's possibly because you're positive, maybe, we don't know. But that was quite jarring for me because I wasn't expecting it. Then I was also it wasn't the setting that I wanted to hear that in. So it was quite difficult. I wish I was told in a very different circumstances, and my parents were in the States, so I had to tell them over Skype. So that was quite tough.
You faced it all: stigmatization, discrimination. What is it actually like for those living with HIV?
Generally, because the biggest problem is that the self-stigma, the internalized stigma, the narrative hasn't changed about HIV, so people still believe that it is a death sentence, and it's quite confronting when that happens. Apart from that, people aren't able to speak about it with friends or family because they're afraid of being ostracized by them, and that puts them in a very sort of isolated position. I often speak to a lot of people who are unable to either leave the country or find something other than their current job or family environment because they're unable to talk about it. So it's quite sad.
So there are a lot of myths that surround HIV. Now, what are some of these harmful myths that actually need to be broken?
Right now, I think the biggest one is that AIDS means death, or HIV means death. That kind of, the stigma still persists because there hasn't been enough done around changing the narrative around it. That's one of the biggest myths. And also how HIV is contracted. In terms of like kissing, hugging, people still believe that that's a mode of transmission, even though it isn't. And generally about treatment and how effective treatment is.
So what are some of the key steps that need to be taken on the path to improving awareness, treatment, and also the prevention of HIV in Sri Lanka?
What I recommend usually is, if you're sexually active, learn about sort of sexually transmitted infections, go and get tested often, and make it a part of your routine practice. In terms of prevention, if you do get diagnosed, starting it early is the best option. And it is also a preventative method to have been on medication for over 6 months and have an undetectable viral load, because it's part of the prevention mechanisms. We also have PrEP available in the country at the moment. You can get it from the Colombo clinic, and you can go to this website called knowforsure.lk, and then you book an appointment to get PrEP. So those are the sort of prevention methods. In terms of stigma and reducing stigma, being informed and sort of following information that is given by either the CDC or WHO, that's a really good place to start, because that has verified information. Because sometimes even information we get from medical professionals here could be biased. So always cross-referencing what you hear with something that is verified would be the best.
So good luck in all that you're planning to do, and for what you do for people with HIV, and also for the support system that they need when they really need it, that you're around. Thank you so much, Riya.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It is not easy when it comes to women getting paid for a job of work in any industry. Artist Q decided to put her own experiences to this powerful, groundbreaking new hip-hop rap single, 100K. Here she is in a Kaleidoscope exclusive on why she came out with this animated single.
I'm killing the game. So 100K is a song that I wrote. It is my ode to badass women who work so hard but sometimes don't get the credit or the money they so rightfully deserve. I wanted to create a music video that kind of matched that energy and that frustration. It was partly inspired by my own experiences working as a freelancer in Colombo, where countless times I've been told, oh, there's no budget to pay me, but you should do it because it's good for the exposure. So the wonderful animator Shanika Korea created this awesome visual that is kind of like a superhero movie, but set in Colombo. I'm